First woman on the moon. Houston, we have a problem. What? Never mind. What's the problem? Nothing. Please tell us. I'm fine.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But this was supposed to be my science feed, you know? And so I replied to, I unfollowed the guy. And I said, God damn it, sexist much? Have to unfollow now. Because it was kind of sexist. And so I'm going to play a song. And this song's called The Bigot Song. Nobody likes a bigot unless he's crying. Boo-hoo.
Oh, please, make it stop. It's a squeaking of the hideous boots.
You know who probably hates bigots even more? Who, Randy? Themselves. When shedding a tear and crying like a gamer with self-loathing and low self-esteem. Nobody likes a bigot when he's crying. Sing it with me. Nobody likes a bigot when he's crying. One more time.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
This is Randy Pitchford. He is one of the biggest clowns in the gaming industry. And if you don't know who he is currently the CEO of Gearbox Entertainment, and he is one of the biggest reasons why their reputation has been tarnished over the years. He is narcissistic, greedy, and worst of all, out of touch. He's like the real life version of Handsome Jack, except way less funny and way more insufferable. And it sucks too because Gearbox is currently the publisher for the Borderlands IP, which I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but my love for this franchise has dramatically gone down for quite some time now. I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that Borderlands as a franchise has had quite a few hiccups lately, and because of that, the fans aren't as excited for this series anymore. Especially now after what Randy Pitchford had to say on X in response to a concerned fan when they asked about the $80 price tag on the upcoming Borderlands 4 game. His response was, and I quote, A, not my call, B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working for minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen.
I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Wow, talk about out of touch. You really could not have made a worse response than this. All he had to do was say nothing. No response would have been way better than what he said here. Or at the very least, just say, it's not up to me. That would have been completely valid. But no, little old Randy just couldn't help himself, and he had to patronize his fan base to let them know that they're not real fans if they don't spend $80 on his game, because he did it back then, so why can't you? Completely ignoring the fact that the cost of living back then was way lower than it is now. His whole response was basically him saying, do you guys not have $80? No? Well, I guess I'm not a real Borderlands fan, even though I've been playing since 2013 and I bought and played each Borderlands game since 2, even when they're Epic exclusives. But since I don't really want to pay $80 for a game, I guess I'm not a true fan then. And since I'm not a real fan, I guess they won't mind if I don't pay full price for the Borderlands 4. I'll just wait for it to inevitably go on sale 6 months later, and a lot of the fan base seems to agree with this sentiment all over the internet as well. This situation all around just sucks because I genuinely do want to play Borderlands 4, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a bad entry to the series. It's just that Randy Pitchford is always the worst part about these games, and he's actively ruining the reputation of the franchise with each iteration. After the massive commercial success of Borderlands 2, Gearbox Interactive became the darling child of the gaming industry for quite some time. People loved everything about this game. The humor, the characters, the loot, the gameplay, all of it was superb. Borderlands 2 was so good that it created a legion of die-hard loyal fans at the time, including me. In our eyes, this company could do no wrong, and we enjoyed every bit of Borderlands 2 as we patiently waited for the next entry into the series with high expectations. 2 years later, Borderlands the pre-sequel would be released to the world, and it wasn't a bad game by any means. It had some decent ideas and the gameplay was serviceable, but there just wasn't enough depth to it to really satisfy the Borderlands 2 itch. So we waited for the eventual launch of Borderlands 3 in 2019, and when that game was released, the word disappointment couldn't even begin to describe the community sentiment around it. The thing is that the gameplay for Borderlands 3 is a step up from its predecessor in a lot of ways, and if you're just a gameplay only person, you might have been content with this title because it was an upgrade from 2. However, despite that, many fans felt like this entry was severely lacking in the narrative department. And I agree with that. The story was a complete abomination and bastardization of Borderlands lore. It was a straight up travesty of the storytelling medium that totally destroyed many fan favorite characters and introduced even more that were overwhelmingly despised by the community because of their abhorrently obnoxious personalities and constant use of outdated, unfunny jokes.
Ava, I'm trying to keep you safe.
By just ditching me on the ship? You said I could be a vault hunter like you! You promised!
You will! When you're ready.
What's up, bitches? Ow, Troy, look what they left for us.
Thanks for doing all the hard work. Man, you vault thieves only think with your trigger fingers, huh?
Keep this up and I'll be a god for real.
In the 7 years that it took in between mainline Borderlands games, the entire gaming landscape had completely changed, and the jokes that were once found funny in Borderlands 2 were now out of style in 3. Now the jokes just come off as cringe millennial humor that's trying way too hard to be hip with the Gen Z kids.
What is up, brothers and sisters? God Queen Tyrene coming to you live. We got something real special for you today. Your #1 most requested murder. It's the great heretic herself, the Firehawk. Well, look who got plucked. Smile. Let's give this Firehawk thing a try. Where my reading tier followers at? Ha! Loving it! But that's not all. Our path to the Great Vault has been revealed. Next stop, Promethea! Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.
Although Borderlands 3 wasn't really that awful of a game overall, the reception to it would ultimately serve to temper our expectations for what Gearbox as a developer was able to put out. No longer were fans under the illusion that Gearbox was this untouchable company that could do no wrong. It pulled people out of that honeymoon phase and back down to the reality that Borderlands as a franchise is starting to fall off. And we could see that with the reception to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which was at most apathy. The game was completely forgettable, and after a few months, no one even remembered that this entry even existed. Now with the announcement that Borderlands 4 was going to retail at the price of $80, people are going to approach this entry with extreme trepidation. No longer are people going to mindlessly consume product then patiently wait for next product like the NPCs they think we are, because Gearbox has completely torched their reputation over the years. No one is confident in this studio's ability to deliver a quality product anymore, and now in this current gaming landscape where games are becoming more and more expensive by the year while still remaining the same quality, they have the audacity to ask for more money. I hate to say this, but as a longtime Borderlands fan of over 10 years, I'm just not that excited for this game to come out anymore. I mean, I'll still get it eventually, but from the looks of it, Borderlands 4 doesn't even seem like it's going to be worth $80. That's something reserved for games that I know are going to deliver on a quality experience, like Baldur's Gate 3 or Elden Ring, not for something where I'm not even sure the game's going to be good or not. It's not really about the price point for many people. I think most of us can afford it. It's more about the value proposition that these games have to offer. The truth is that many AAA titles nowadays struggle to even provide enough value for a $60 or $70 price tag, so Gearbox asking for $80 is just completely unjustified and insulting. What's also concerning to me is how game publishers are now entertaining the thought of increasing their game prices across the board. Like how Nintendo just recently announced that some games for the Switch 2 would be baseline $80 on launch. This is wild to me because we still haven't gotten used to the $70 AAA games that were pushed down our throats about 2 years ago, and now they want to increase the price even more? In this economy? While more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck while inflation rises higher than that mushroom lady from Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
Yeah, right. Nintendo increasing their prices had already caused a lot of controversy in of itself, because not only do people not want to pay more money, but also gave the other competitors in the market the signal to also start increasing their prices as well. Obviously, they're not just gonna sit by and watch as Nintendo rakes in the money from afar. They're also gonna follow along with this trend like what Microsoft did not too long ago. And within 6 months, $80 will be the standard price for every AAA game on the market. I don't think anyone realizes yet, but we are quickly approaching the reality where $100 games are going to be the norm, where purchasing brand new AAA titles could easily cost almost $200 for the deluxe or ultimate editions. This could very well happen within 2 or 3 years from now, and that's concerning considering how most people have barely even accepted the fact that games are going to be $70 now. Now, some individuals are going to argue that AAA companies need to charge $70 to $80 for their games because they need to be able to pay off all of their development expenses and give their developers a livable wage. And obviously, the video game industry is a business at the end of the day. They need to make a profit somehow. I understand that. However, the problem is that AAA development budgets have gotten so out of hand lately that it's nearly impossible to break even. Expenses are through the roof, exceeding multiple hundreds of millions of dollars just to produce these AAA titles that no one is asking for. Nobody was asking for Sony to spend $500 million for Concord. No one was asking for Ubisoft to spend $800 million for Skull and Bones. No one was asking for EA to spend $250 million for Dragon Age the Veilguard. This kind of spending is completely unsustainable because it requires an unrealistic amount of sales to offset the expenses, and these are still flopping at $50 to $60 price points. So if you're charging more money while having the same budgets, even less people are going to purchase that product, making it so that they flop even harder. But what they don't understand is that you don't need this $100 million budget to make a profitable game. You can easily make a high quality AAA title for $50 million, and that's been proven again and again with the recent successes of smaller studio games like Expedition 33 or Black Myth Wukong. These titles were massive successes with a smaller budget, a smaller dev team, a smaller scope, and the best part was that they didn't have to charge $70. AA studios have been leading the innovation within the gaming industry for quite some time now, and at this point, I think they've proven that bigger isn't always better. Throwing more money at things won't give you a better chance at success. What these AAA studios need to do instead of trying to nickel and dime us at every turn is to figure out how to reduce their spending so that profit margins won't have to be so insanely high. It's not our fault that these executives chose to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to develop games that no one asked for. No one wants these huge open world games that are filled with nothing but tons of copy-pasted content. No one is asking for them to hire thousands of developers who will eventually get laid off because the studio made a slew of bad financial decisions. All of this is just a ploy to make you pay more money for the same level of quality that we've been getting for the past 10 years now. Games that were released in 2015 still hold up to this day, and are usually cheaper too. All of this to say that I am not paying $80 for a video game unless I know for a fact it's going to deliver on the quality experience that matches the price value. So no, Randy Pitchford, I am not going to buy Borderlands 4 for $80, and you shouldn't either. But that's just me. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more content in the future. See ya.